Well, in an interview nobody asked for, John Janssen has broken his silence and is setting the record straight on his relationship with Shannon Storm's Bidor. Plus, we have Lala Kent, Scheana Shay, and Tom Schwartz. They're making their way over to the Valley. And Mauricio, with his dance partner, replacing Kyle Richards' photo with Emma's. Let's talk about it. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up, guys? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. What's going on, everybody in the club? In the club, we all fam. Sorry I'm a bit late today. One, I had to tape the Pop Report solo and do it all solo. No producer, no interns, no Andy. So this week's episode was entirely produced and edited and everything by me. So Andy's out sick and everyone's out on holiday. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm running the Pop Report solo this week. So that there's a new episode of the Pop Report. It's out right now. I had to do it all this morning. Glad to say Andy's finally feeling a little bit better. So there's a new episode of the Pop Report. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Go support, listen, subscribe, review, leave a comment, all the things. What's up, guys? Welcome on in. Happy early Thanksgiving. What's today? Is today Wednesday? Wednesday? Not Zack hijacking Donna's live podcast. Listen, Joe. Okay. Let me clarify this. I couldn't wait any longer because I also haven't. Donna texted me and she's like, why are you going live at the same time I'm going live? And I was like, okay, I'll push it back. Sorry, I love Donna Bowling. Can you guys let Donna know I love her? And listen, I gave her 47 minutes to wrap up her live. I do love her. I'm not trying to hijack anybody's schedules, but shit, I got a job to do too. And I have 2 podcasts and I have an appointment after this. So I don't have a lot of time to get this episode out and then post it on all the feeds. So I did the best that I could. And yeah, it is what it is. Sorry, Donna. Listen, I love you, my dear. I gave you as much time as I could, but I had to go live. But yeah, what's today? Is today Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So we won't have an episode on Thanksgiving, but we'll have an episode on Friday. So just so you know. Did you have an appointment with Jimbo? No, I did not have an appointment with my Jimbo, Joe. I did not. I was taping. I went to the gym and then I had to tape the Pop Report. And then there were tech issues that I was dealing with the Pop Report. And then I had to get ready for No Filter. So listen, I'm doing all the damn things. Okay. I do feel like I just fell out of. You know what I feel like? Did you see the video of Kamala Harris? We'll get into that at the end. Of drunk Kamala Harris, and she looked all haggard. We'll get into that because it reminded me. Actually, we'll get into it at the end of the show because I have commentary. I have feedback. But let's talk. Should we talk Johnny J or should we talk Vanderpump Rules? So obviously we got the news. The Vanderpump Rules is being rebooted. It's going to be an entirely new cast, all new servers. Not going to be the original OGs. However, it was announced in Deadline yesterday that Tom Schwartz, Lala Kent, Scheana Shay, and Brock Davies will be appearing on season 2 of The Valley. Now, I believe of all of them, Scheana Shay is the only one that is getting a full credit. She's possibly the only one that's going to be in it consistently. Lala, I know, makes a few cameos and then she went on maternity leave and didn't film a whole lot because she was having a baby. Schwartz, I think, will probably make cameos with Tom Sandoval. Because obviously we know not Sandoval, with Jax Taylor, same thing, right? Because Jax moves into Schwartz's apartment building. Remember, that was part of the storyline and Brittany was upset with that. So I would imagine we're going to see a lot of Jax Taylor and Tom Schwartz cameos throughout the season as well. So, I mean, listen, they needed Schwartz and Lala and Scheana to kind of pick up some of the weight for the scenes that Jax was going to be missing because he was in rehab. So I know people are not happy about it, but yeah, Schwartz, Lala, Scheana, Brock, you're going to see them all in season 2 of The Valley, which comes next year. And yeah. Okay, so I got in trouble yesterday because I tweeted, I'm going to read you my exact tweet, and then everybody came at me and they were calling me racist. And I was like, oh my God, am I trending again? So I tweeted, I even did a whole Instagram reel about it too, where I basically said the real winner. I said, the real winner of Vanderpump Rules is Stassi Schroeder. She's a 3-time New York Times bestselling author. She has a sold out tour. She has a 7-figure podcast deal, and she has a spinoff coming to Hulu. They fired her and tried to cancel her, and at her lowest, she rose again without the show, which is very true because everyone's like, Ariana's the winner. Ariana's the one. And listen, not that Ariana didn't come up, right? It's not that she, isn't having her moment right now, and good for her. Godspeed, bless her heart, right? But like Ariana was given all these opportunities because everyone felt bad for her after Scandival. Scandival was super popular. She was the hero that came out of Scandival at the end of the day. And like, here's the thing. People weren't fucking with Ariana 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, they didn't really care. Like, she wasn't the most interesting cast member, right? Very sweet in person, not very interesting, though. Not the best reality star. Had great moments, but like wasn't the breakout star of Vanderpump Rules, right? So the real reason she got Dancing with the Stars, Love Island, this DSW shoe collab is because the fallout from Scandival, okay? That's what it is. Period. End of story. Suck it. Haters gonna hate. Don't give a shit. Stassi Schroeder, however, is the real winner because Stassi got canceled. Stassi got fired. Stassi was at her absolute lowest, and she built back from that. She kept her house, she kept her husband, and she kept 2 babies fed since her firing back in 2020, you know? So, if anything, Stassi Schroeder is the real breakout, most successful star. I mean, listen, none of Ariana's deals are 7-figure deals. Like, she got a good paycheck for Love Island. She got a good paycheck to play Roxy in Chicago. She got a good paycheck for her DSW collab. And what didn't she do a Marshall's collab or a TJ Maxx? She did something. So she's getting a lot of these endorsement deals, and good for her. However, Stassi made 7 figures off of one deal that was her podcast deal. Not to mention her book deals, not to mention her endorsement deals on Instagram. Like, if anything, Stassi did that without being on television. She was not on Vanderpump Rules. She just got a spinoff on Hulu. Ariana doesn't have a spinoff. If Ariana was able to capitalize off of a scandal that made her popular. Stassi was able to bounce back when they tried to bury her 6 feet deep, And then everyone's coming at me and they're like, oh, well, I guess you're racist by association because you're defending Stassi Schroeder. And I was like, well, let's actually remember why Stassi was fired. Because everyone's like, she was fired for being racist. And it's like, well, actually, no, Stassi was fired because she went on Jackie Schimmel's podcast, Bitch Bible. That was the name of the podcast. And she told a story. She told a story about how Kristen Doty called into a tip hotline saying that the woman, there was this security footage. It was like this blurry security footage of a woman in the video that I think was accused of stealing, right? So Kristen Doty and a few other of the servers at SUR all said, we think that this is Faith Stowers. We think that she's the one that's doing this because they all said that they had different stories about Faith stealing things from the other servers or the other workers at SUR. So everybody had different stories about Faith stealing from them. Okay. So Kristen Doty called into a tip hotline, left it at that. She never got a call back. The police never got involved. To our knowledge, Faith was never investigated. Faith was never arrested. That's the extent of it. Stassi went on Jackie Schimmel's podcast and told the story about how Kristen called the tip hotline, right? That's what ended up canceling Stassi and Kristen, okay? Because she went and Jackie Schimmel immediately, once the backlash started to come in, then Jackie Schimmel took down the podcast episode, so nobody really got to listen to it outside of what everybody was saying. And then this was 2020. This was the height of cancel culture. This was the height of, digging up people's tweets from 15 years ago and calling everybody racist. So that's the reality of what actually happened. And that's why Stassi and Kristen were fired, right? And even Faith, shortly after that, was doing interviews saying that she would absolutely come back to Bravo, should they be willing to bring her back. So I think, and I've often been critical of Bravo with the double standards that they've had when it comes to firing or canceling certain cast members, others that get a pass. People like Mary Cosby continue to get passes on the network. People like Ramona, people want to hold to a completely different standard. Let's not forget Mary Cosby at the season 1 reunion says that she doesn't go to 7-Eleven because of the Black people that hang out in front of 7-Eleven. Like that, so I think there are double standards that the network has had. I think even bringing Jax and Kristen back onto the Valley is a double standard, but it's like how quickly the audience forgets the outrage that they had back in 2020 that they now suddenly want to scurry away from and be like, oh, we're so happy for Kristen that she's pregnant when they were outraged and calling for her neck back in 2020. So, you know, you are an internet. What is Joe doing? Zach, you and Donna are on at the same time. Sorry, just guys. I love Donna. I'm sorry. I waited as long as I could. Sydney says also the climate at that time was immediate cancel culture. Not that what she said was right. Just saying. No, I agree. There was like no middle ground, right? There was no gray area at that time. It was like everybody was out for blood and we wanted to cancel everybody any chance that we had an opportunity to. And so that was the real reason Stassi and Kristen were fired. Jax was later let go later on in the year because then everyone was like, well, Jax is problematic, so let's fire him because of the gay past the homophobic pastor that they wanted to have in their wedding. Like everybody wanted to pull everything out, right? And we pulled some Max and Brett's tweets, and it was like a whole, like everybody was just looking to cancel everyone. Russ Davis says, I'm glad cancel culture is over. It's ending, right? It was like cancel culture / outrage culture. And now we're kind of moving outside of that because people are they're tired of it, right? They're tired of it. It was so divisive. Like, it wasn't accountability culture. It was this like, let me tell you why you're wrong and let me shun you from society. Let me destroy your livelihood. Let me destroy your reputation. I don't care about a middle ground. I don't care about, anything that you have to say. You're over, you're canceled, it's done, shunned from society. And that didn't help anybody, right? Like it didn't teach anybody any lessons. All it did was teach people to be quiet and to not say certain things out loud and to tiptoe and to walk on eggshells because they were afraid of getting canceled, not because they were trying to be better people, but because they genuinely didn't want to lose their livelihoods. So let's tell it like it is. Who are we talking about? Well, we were talking about Stassi Schroeder and why she was fired. And because I said that I think she's the biggest star to come out of Vanderpump Rules that's still culturally relevant, right? She can turn down interviews. She can turn down certain opportunities. She turned down the Valley. She didn't need to come back on the Valley. She never needed to return to Vanderpump Rules. She did fine, She did well for herself and is making a good paycheck. She's living comfortably, still in her home that she bought when she was on the show. Kristen had to sell her house. So, yeah, just a little refresher. But yeah, she definitely is still on tour after being gone for how long now? Yeah. And listen, her shows continue to sell out. Her books continue to sell well. I don't know how good her spinoff is going to be on Hulu, to be honest. It doesn't sound like the most exciting concept. But listen, good for her to keep it going, keep it moving and grooving. She's pushing forward. But so, yeah, we can look forward to seeing Schwartz, Lala, and Scheana on The Valley season 2. A lot of people are like, we don't want to see them. We don't need to see them. But I still want to see them. I like them. I know that's not a popular. What do we think is going to happen to the rest of them? Katie Maloney, we're never going to see again. Like, I don't even know what she's going to do. She's going to have to go back to bussing tables at SUR. Katie Maloney, once the bologna sandwiches dry out and she can't sell any more sandwiches, it's something about her. She's going to need to do something, Joe says, sounds like Sandoval and Katie are the ones most screwed over by the Vanderpump recast. Yeah. Well, Schwartz too. Schwartz seems a little misplaced there. He is misplaced, but he's going to be an ally for Jax. Like he's going to be Jax's friend on the show. So, we'll see what he brings. Okay, let's talk about Dorit because Dorit was just on the Dorit was just on Alex Baskin's his podcast for Bravo, Hot Mic, the Hot Mic podcast. So we can talk all about Doritos and what she had to say because she had a lot to say about Lisa Rinna, surprisingly. So, but before we do, we are headed into Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving week, which means all of the Black Friday promotions are dropping this weekend. And I wanted to put one on your radar, and that is from my pals at BioRay. I love me some BioRay, and they are having their biggest sale of the year, which is a 30% off sale site-wide. Empower your wellness with BioRay Essentials for a healthier, more balanced life. It's a great way to to make sure you stay in your homeostasis throughout the holiday season and to kick off some of your New Year goals a little early. From liver detox to immune support and energy boosting formulas, BioRay has everything you need to support yours and your family's health and wellness this year and going into 2025. Starting the year off strong, right? Don't wait. Stock up now before the sale ends. The sale kicks off this Friday, November 29th, launches at 12 a.m. Pacific, and will run through the weekend, ending on Monday, December 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. The theme of the sale this year is empower your wellness. Okay. So if you want to empower your wellness, take control of your health, start the new year off strong and this year strong. I mean, listen, like I said, the liver detox, great for the holidays, or their new Raise line. I know I've been taking my Life is Peachy drops because they help with the sugar rampage. It's their new Raise by BioRay line, all available at bioray.com. And if you use code ZACK, ZACK, use code ZACK for free shipping all weekend long. Okay. So you get the automatic 30% off, but you have to use code ZACK, ZACK at bioray.com to get free shipping on top of the 30%. I just had one of my friends DM me and she's like, do you know, do you know anybody that is, that specializes in like, heavy metal detox? And I was like, actually, BioRay has a great product called NDF Plus that I take that's really good for, safely doing a little heavy metal detox. So they have everything: liver detox, heavy metal detox, immune support, energy boosting formulas, all available at bioray.com. Go and check them out. Schwartz is moving to Florida, and he's not moving to Florida. Nicole says, hey, Zach, I'm so excited I caught the live. By the way, my doggy wants to know why he doesn't have a comfy Zach Pack hoodie like his mommy. I'm not allowed to wear it because he uses it as his bed. He mugs me when I have it on, so I have to change. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Nicole, for the super chat. I appreciate you, my dear. Happy Thanksgiving. So grateful to you. Schwartz is not moving to Florida. Okay, let's get back to Doritos. We had the new episode of Real Houses of Beverly Hills, which also shocking that we had this revelation about Mauricio being super shady and removing his photo with Kyle Richards from his desk and replacing it with a photo with his Dancing with the Stars partner, Emma. You'll never guess who's jealous of Adele. Beyonce. That's a Wendy Williams call. Well, not RIP, but like sad news for Wendy Williams. She was just deemed legally incapacitated. Her dementia has taken full frontal, unfortunately. But so yeah, I mean, I thought that was a little twist. I'm loving Dorit this season. I'm glad the girls are kind of rallying around Kyle. I like that Son's like, listen, you got to file for divorce. So it was a good episode of Beverly Hills. Bose, I think, is in it to win it. I think she's going to kill it this season. I also think Bravo has had just like a revolving door. They lost Crystal. They lost Diana Jenkins. They lost Anne Marie. So I think they need somebody that's going to stick. So they're going to give Bose a really good edit this season because I don't think they can afford to lose her. So we'll see. But so far, I'm liking what I see. I think she really is a good boss, but I also want to make sure she can get a little messy. Like, I think that's the trouble with Roni is the ladies aren't willing to get messy. They want to like keep their hands clean and keep their image curated. And I think we need a little, we need a little mess. So hopefully Bose can bring a little bit of that or bring something, something interesting and unique for the show. Okay. Dorit was on the Hot Mic podcast with Alex Baskin, which is Bravo's new podcast. And she says that she's been leaning on Lisa Rinna lately. And Lisa Rinna has been a really good friend to her. And not only that, but she also says that Lisa Rinna is the one that convinced her to return to Real Houses of Beverly Hills this past season. So she tells Alex Baskin, which he seemingly confirms, that she quit the show after last season. She says that she just felt like she was done at the time. And then she really thought about it and she talked to Rinna and she's like, I don't know if I want to come back. I don't know if I should come back. And Lisa Rinna told her, listen, if you're going to do it, then you really need to do it. Like, go all in. Don't hide anything. Be you, Lisa Rinna told us, smoke cigarettes, flip off the camera, like really just go all in. I mean, she didn't tell her those specifics. I think Dorit took her own liberties with that. But listen, we're loving Dorit this season, right? Good for her. So I think, Brenna did the damn thing. She gave her the best advice. Dorit came back and Dorit came to own it, baby. Own it. And she said that she just felt like she was leaving a little too soon. So she changed her mind, decided to return this season. And she said that, she didn't want to leave on that note that she was leaving on, which, I think was the note where Garcelle was trying to insinuate that Dorit is racist. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to go out with people thinking that I'm racist. She didn't say that, but that's kind of my own conjecture. But so she said that she just had some unfinished business. And so she wanted to come back and finish some business, which we'll see. Dorit is mimicking Brenna. No, I don't think Dorit's. People forget this was Dorit. Season 1 Dorit, like Dorit's first 2 seasons, that was, that's where she shined. And then she started to dial it back and focus more on her fashion. So I don't think that this is Dorit playing up a character. Even Chef Stu was like, she's a completely different person now. She went to acting school and came back a completely different person. I'm like, no, now she just doesn't give a shit. She came back to really just be herself again without considering, the audience hating her. I think she's also over cancel culture. And she's like, you know what? I don't give a shit. Like, I'm here to be me. I'm going to do me. How many F's should I give? 0, 0, 0, none, not one. 0, 0, 0. Done. Amy K says, loving that Dorit is not backing down. Exactly. Remember Dorit saying, if I can smell your breath, then you're too close. That was the Dorit. I don't think this is an act that Dorit is giving us now. I think this is the real Dorit. And the act that we were getting was from before, when she was trying to look a little too polished and do her homeless, not toothless charity gala and all of that stuff. I just think that was the Dorit. Like, she was just afraid of getting another reckoning from the audience, which, hello, the audience and the crybabies that clutch their pearls on the internet are the ones that are ruining these shows. And I'm glad that Dorit is back. Guess who's back? Back, back, back again, again, again. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? So I'm here for it. Okay, that's Dorit. She's back. Mauricio replacing the photo of Kyle. Trash, garbage, not happy. I'm glad Erica stuck up for Kyle in the after show. And Erica's like, listen, if I would have known this, I would have had a thing to say to Mauricio because I don't like that at all. And Erica also revealed that Tom Girardi had a photo of his mistress that he had on his desk and he would hide it under the mat. Some people have those mats on their desk. He had the photo under the mat. And I was like, oh. Sharon said, Zack, you did a great clutch your pearls yesterday. Loved it on the rewatch. Did I do a great, clutch my pearls. Clutching your pearls and clenching your asshole. Velda says, Dorit has been hiding her real marriage issues. So has Kyle. Velda, you always coming in here to be a hater. I respect you, though, because you're consistent. Okay, let's talk about everybody's favorite, John Janssen. So I know that everybody has just been waiting for John Janssen to break his silence. And guess what? He has finally spoken out. Dun, dun, dun. The interview we've all been waiting for. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not finish the interview, but I tried to fast forward through as much of it as I could. And I did take notes. Okay. I got through as much of it as I could. And I feel it was a 30-minute interview. I don't care to listen to John Janssen for literally 30 minutes. I'm good, baby. I'm good. Is anyone holding space for John Janssen? Nobody except Alexis Bellino. She's holding space for him. She's holding a lot for him. But anyway, John starts off by saying that he is more of a private person. He says he's an open book, but he's just not a public facing person. And he only did the show because Shannon's job was at risk. And if he didn't do the show, then he knew that she could potentially lose her spot on Housewives. He also says that he did some forensic accounting and he spent well over $300,000 throughout the duration of their relationship. So he's like, yeah, I know how much money I spent on Shannon. So there you go. Sucks to suck. That's the reality. I spent more money than she did. Russ Davis says, for someone who wants a public life, he sure does a lot of interviews. Well, he says he doesn't do a lot of interviews. He's like, there have just been some times where I, was on a red carpet and I did a couple of interviews there. It's like, "Nah, bro." Like, yeah, you've done a couple of red carpet interviews, but, like, you have to remember you did the red carpets. Like, there's no requirement that you have to walk a red carpet. Also, if you do walk a red carpet, there's no requirement that you have to do interviews. Like, so many people just take their photo on the red carpet and keep it moving and grooving. You don't have to walk at all, and you don't have to do interviews if you don't want to. Yet he did, right? Not only that, but he agreed to do a confessional for Bravo. But he's like, well, the reason I do these interviews is because I just want to clear my name. I just want to tell the truth. So he also says that the loans that he gave to Shannon, she promised to pay him back within 2 months. They were absolutely loans. She knew they were loans. He knew they were loans. He said the second time that he gave her money and helped her out, it was because she needed help paying her bills. And so he agreed to help her with that, in addition to the money he gave her for her facelift. So he says that the reason he sued her, even though the timing was a bit suspect, but he said he sued her at that time because there was a statute of limitations issues and he wouldn't be able to bring forth the lawsuit if he didn't do it at the time that he did. But he says that he was trying to maintain or he was trying to maintain a peaceful relationship with her. He was talking to her CFO. He was talking to, her directly. He was trying to make sure that they could resolve it without having to go legal. He said he just wanted a plan that works for her so that he could get his money back, which is not true because she agreed to make payments and he didn't like that. And then she asked him to sign a non disparagement agreement and he declined. And he said that the real reason he declined or refused to sign the non disparagement agreement is because he wanted to correct all of the past disparagements that she had put out there against him, which is kind of ridiculous, if you ask me. Because non disparagement means we both stop talking negatively about each other, which tells me, I take it he did not sign a non disparagement agreement when Shannon made her settlement. Like I told you, Shannon's the one that buckled, and she's the one that had to. She buckled and had to pay him out, and she did. She paid him in full, no non disparagement. Like it just got dragged out because she said that she wanted to take it before a jury, but she knew that she was going to end up spending a lot more money, even if she came out on top. I also think she probably, I mean, listen, it was a loan. She did have to pay him back at some point, whether she thought she was going to or wanted to or didn't want to. Like, it is what it is. But he says that the reason he's doing this interview, which was an interview with Entertainment Tonight with Bryce Sander, he says that the reason he did do this interview is because he wanted to respond to the final scene of the reunion, where you have Heather and Tamara that are talking about, him claiming that Shannon's hit him. So, but like I said, I take it he did not sign the non disparagement agreement because otherwise he would not be doing this interview. And I think this was always the plan. He wanted to get the money from her and then he wanted to be able to go and tell his side of the story. But he said that, he suffered tremendously. There are companies that he has that he's had to distance himself from. He said that his kids have suffered tremendously because of all of this. It's like, well, actually, if you would have just gone off and sailed into the sunset, then, nobody would be talking about you. If you and Alexis didn't insert yourself into this season, nobody would really be talking about you. But he says that the real reason Shannon paid for a lot at the beginning of their the real reason Joe says there's no need because you'd have signed a non-disclosure agreement, non-disparagement agreement. But so he said that the real reason Shannon, because she claims she paid for everything at the beginning. He's like, well, the real reason she did is because we were going to these dinners and we were filming and we were going on these trips and all this stuff. And he's like, I was under the impression that Bravo paid for everything. And so that's why I was down for it, because Bravo was paying. He's like, I didn't realize at the time that Shannon was the one that was paying for it out of pocket and that Bravo was not actually paying for it. And then he said that he found out that she was telling everybody that she was paying for everything. And that's when he was like, no, 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 no. I'm gonna start paying for things now because I didn't just fall out of a coconut tree. So he also says he never fat shamed her. He said if anything, it was the opposite. He was always building her up and telling her how beautiful she was. I don't know how much I believe Johnny J and his bullshit. T with Tambo says, I saw the Johnny J interview last night. I watched ET. He was gross. He heard Shannon wrecked and his daughter went to the scene instead. Oh, so is that what he said happened? That that's what's on the camera. I guess when she was zooming off, that's when she may have almost hit the daughter. Again, like, he's just I don't know. He also talks about Alexis. Oh, no, no, this was even better. So remember how Shannon said that when they would get into fights, that then he would ghost her and she wouldn't hear from him for days? Well, then he clarified that and he said, well, the reason I would ice her out is because I was setting boundaries. I was like, okay, Ariana, calm down. Like, no, like, shut up. Like, you were setting boundaries, so you decided to like ghost her and ignore her. Setting boundaries is saying, hey, listen, I was really affected by our fight last night. Can you just give me a day or two, or just give me a little bit of time and space to clear my head? We'll talk on Monday or something, right? That's setting a boundary, honoring your boundary, and then, being able to use your big boy words. But ignore just completely giving somebody the silent treatment is not setting a boundary. That's called manipulation. Joe Mendoza says, shady question for Zack. In hindsight, are these content creators you would have wished signed non disparagement agreements between you? Wait, are there content creators you wish would have signed non disparagement agreements between you? If so, name them. No, I don't. Here's the thing, if anybody has anything to say about me, I will respond to it with the truth. I I ain't gonna sign a non-disparagement agreement. Well, I mean, I guess listen, if somebody wanted me to sign a non-disparagement agreement and it was really important to them, I would do it and I would make sure it's a mutual disparagement agreement. But also, like, me and you know my mouth, and like you know, I can't always keep it in, you know? So yeah. Zach is Norma Ray. What is Norma? Who is Norma Ray? Patsy says Shannon is a full blown drunk alcohol and she needs help. She gets blacked out drunk and she needs help and is in total denial of the disease. Thank you, Patsy, for your diagnosis. Matt N says, Zach, do you think that Shannon was stupid to make up with Tamara and Heather? No, I think that show wise and job security wise, it was the smart thing to do. They're the popular girls in the group. And I think, you know, she knows she won't be the whipping post in the next season. Russ Davis says Zach is too young to know who Norma Ray is. Who is Norma Ray? Do I have to Google this? Um, okay, I'll Google it afterwards. Remind me because I want to finish this John Janssen story. But John Janssen says that he and Alexis Bellino met organically, and there was just so much chemistry that they just fell in love, and they just couldn't help but like not be together because they were just when you know, and love is love, and love wins at the end. You know. He didn't want her to do the show, but, she wanted to do the show and he was just supporting her for going back on the show, but he says it's really hard because she was just a friend of, and so, what was seen of her was limited and it wasn't the real her, and he knows the real her and he knows the real truth. I'm like, yeah, you seem to really know a lot of the real truth that doesn't I don't know. Do I think Shannon is perfect in all of this? No, but I think the one person that hurt John Jansen's reputation more than John Jansen and more than Shannon Bedore, I would say is Alexis Bellino. I think she really, is a lot worse. A lot worse. Sally Field. Who is, well, I know who Sally Field, the actress. What about Sally Field? Is she Norma Ray? Who is Norma Ray? Who is Norma Ray? Norma. Norma. Right, and why am I Norma Ray is the other question. Norma Ray. Like her family before her, Norma Ray, Sally Field, works at the local textile mill where the pay is hardly consumer. Wait, what is who? She's an actress. Why am I Norma Ray? Sally Fields won an Academy Award for that movie. She played a real badass fighting for the right things. Oh, is that me? I fight for the right things? Yeah. Shannon was at least real. She put it all out there. That she did. Norma Ray is Marilyn Monroe. Real Houses of Orange County should be canceled, Zach. Why should it be canceled? I'm enjoying it. I thought it was good. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. But yeah, this is the interview we didn't need from John Jansen. Like, I'm good. I did not need it. I don't want it. Take it back. Call the manager and tell him I want my money back. And John even says that he knows that, like, this is the interview that, like, most people might not wanna hear. It's like, well, I wonder why. I wonder why. you know? So, man, oh man, oh man. You are my fire, the one desire. Dorit or Kyle? Sorry if I missed you discussing it already. Do I have a preference or like whose team am I on? I think I'm Erica in this situation. I'm on team. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards Dorit, but I think I'm Erica in this situation. I'm just like, listen, friends with both, friends with all. The more the merrier. Love a good threesome. Am I right? Anyone think we will ever see the ring footage? No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a need to. He's cleared his name. He's got his money. Like, we'll see if Johnny J has any sort of appearances in the upcoming season of Real Housewives of Orange County. Because at this point, you know, at this point, kind of feels like he might still stick around. But he says he doesn't want to, so maybe he won't. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Joel Felix says, I wish Teddy would join Beverly Hills next season. All the crazy drama surrounding her marriage is insane, and she is best friends with Kyle. Well, yeah, but we're not going to see any of that. Like, they're not going to film Beverly Hills. Like, it just started airing. So they're not going to go into production for that. What seasons are usually 3 to 4 months? What are we in now? November, December, January. I would say we maybe get a reunion early February. So production probably won't start until March. At that point, I feel like the height of the scandal is kind of, well, I don't know. Will it be dead by then? I would love to see Teddy at least come back as a friend of and talk about the scandal. I doubt that she will, and lean on the support of her friends, during this difficult time of riding a horse trainer. So stop giving Johnny J a platform. I'm not trying to, but like, I watched the interviews that you don't have to. And I'm telling you, you really don't have to. Lisa Vanderpump should come back. No, she doesn't make sense on the show anymore. I think John and Lexi are both done. No story to tell. No one wants to see their wedding. I don't know what the show is going to have moving forward. I mean, I guess maybe, well, I don't know. There's no more drama with Jen Padranti and Ryan. There's no drama between Shannon and Bedore anymore. Like, that storyline is fully wrapped up. The DUI is done. The lawsuit is done. She doesn't have any interest in filming with Alexis. So I really don't know. I have no idea. We'll see. John did say that Alexis is in negotiations to return next season. So we'll see if she's back or not. Guess who's back? Back again. And Teddy said that there was actual footage of her and Edwin fighting in the first season, and it was on the cutting room floor. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Does everyone dislike Teddy? I don't dislike Teddy. I actually think the hate for Teddy is a little too intense. If you ask me, I wouldn't marry Kate and Ashley. Okay. What else should we get into today? Hey. Let's see. Okay. Only because this has been such a viral moment that everybody has seen talk about online. It's so bad. Okay, I'm warning you. Not that I'm trying to be political, but like obviously this does involve a political figure. But it's this video that has been going around that was released by Kamala Harris's camp to her supporters that has now gone viral online. And the only reason I bring it up is because there's an iconic housewife scene that it reminded me of. So whether you like Kamala or don't like Kamala, that's neither here nor there. But here I'll play the actual. I will play the actual clip for you, and then we'll discuss.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
You have the same ability. Now, this reminded me of a very iconic Real Housewives scene that we will roll now.
I don't care if you are the biggest heroin heroin addict, prostitute on the street. I would never shame you. I would invite you to my house and say, "What the is going on?"
I mean, come on. It was wild. The fact that her team thought that this was a good idea to release this video and didn't think that it was going to get out. I'm like, was this like an intentional, like, we want to show that she has a problem? Like, I'm like, it was wild. I was like, am I watching SNL right now? Like you can just, you know, the slurring of the words, drunken Dorinda. Yeah. Can't wait for Dorinda on Traders. Yeah. Prostology. Yeah. Oh, that was before Dorinda stabbed herself in the hand. Was that when Dorinda stabbed herself in the hand? That was a different night. Or that was a different, yeah, that was a different dinner. Remember, she was at the table with Tinsley and Bethany, and that's when she stabbed herself in the hand. But this was the moment when Bethany came down and she's like, why is there makeup smeared all over her face? She looks like the Joker. So, yeah. Wait, she's dead. Yeah, but the hand thing was a different scene. It wasn't that same moment. That was earlier in the night. And then this moment, the Dorinda Joker moment, was later in the night. So, face of an angel, mouth of a serpent. Oh, are you talking about me? Thank you. What a sweet compliment. Marianne Stout says, I think it humanized her. I thought it was funny. Kamala Harris, drunk? You thought her thank you to her fans drunk humanized her? I mean, sure, politicians, they're just like us. I didn't think the Kamala Harris video was bad, LOL. It's not bad, but like, well, no, it is bad. Like her hair's like at least brush her hair. She looked like Joe from Vanderpump Rules, Schwartz's Joe. Her hair was always a mess, and it's just like, guys, can we just brush this out? Like, let's brush it out a little bit. Let's do a fresh little powder on the nose. Let's give her a little shot of espresso. Wait 15 minutes, and then we could do the video. Her hair color looks good though. It does look good. Zack, then we all get to hear that we should be a case study. Who should be a case study? I think the difference is Kamala was probably exhausted from her 90-day world tour and Dorinda was just blackout drunk. I think both. Like, listen, I've heard all of like the rumors about like, Kamala liking a drink, and I didn't really pay attention to it, much of it. But I mean, it sounds like maybe she is a bit of a Sutton Strack and she has vodka in her purse. I don't know. Drunk auntie at Thanksgiving dinner. Thank you. That's what it was giving. Like I was watching when I saw the video, I was like, oh, she looking a little lit. I was like, this is me when I've had a few drinks and I've met a stranger and I'm trying to give them my words of wisdom. I was like, this looks like one of my drunk cameos when somebody asks me for some advice. Which, by the way, I'm on Cameo, guys. So if you want a drunk Kamala Harris Dorinda medley cameo video from me, you can click the link down below. And I will give you some Dorinda medley Kamala Harris words of advice. Beth Fed says, Zack, do you remember Kamala on Watch Weapons Live on Zoom in August 2020? She had her own tagline for Andy. She's a huge Real Housewives fan. Anyway, you can't find that video anywhere now. It's been scrubbed. Can we find it? It might be, someone may have shared it on Twitter. I do remember that. It was a dumb tagline. I remember that. Has it been? It may have been scrubbed. Oh, here it is.
Story tonight is I hear you have a Housewives tagline for us.
I do, Andy.
Okay.
It is. I'll give you my opinion, but my beliefs are never up for debate.
Yes.
I'll give you my opinion, but my beliefs are never up for debate. Really? Because I feel like they changed. Okay, we're not going to get into that one because that did not age well at all. When was that? 2020? He did call her senator. Oh yeah, that was June 2020. Oh, so that was before the election. Interesting. Why did he have her on? That was an interesting choice. Huh. That's funny. My beliefs will never change. I mean, well, that aged like leaving like a bottle of raw milk that was left out overnight. Oof. What did Brittany? Everyone's laughing at Brittany's jokes. What did Brittany say? Brittany said these people who. Oh, well, let's not be mean. Let's be nice. We're gonna respect each other. Joseph's follow-up question: around what times during the day are you drunk so we can time our cameo requests? Around what times during the day? Like Sutton, I wake up and I drink vodka at 10 a.m. No, like in the evenings, Joe. I'm not drunk at 10 a.m. in the morning. But I mean, listen, it is Thanksgiving time. You never know. It sounded better than Kyle's tagline. The Beverly Hills taglines are all pretty terrible. But no, the only reason I said that is because she says that her values never change. What was it? Her what? My opinions. My beliefs are never up for debate. But if anything, that was one of the struggles. All the things that she stood for changed this year. She wasn't for fracking. She likes fracking. Bidenomics was successful. It wasn't successful. She's partnered with Joe Biden. She has nothing to do with Joe Biden. Like a lot of her policies have changed. She was against the wall because it was Trump's vanity project. And then suddenly, part of her new policy plan is that she wants to build the wall this year. It was literally on the website when she had her things listed out. He keeps vodka in his purse. Yeah, I keep vodka in my purse. That's right. I know that's right. Drunk videos of a younger you viewed when you're older doesn't hit the same. It gets embarrassing. Yeah, my take on that is like you should be embarrassed by your younger self because then that means that you've improved. Like your younger self should make you cringe because you're not that person anymore. I mean, I'm sure I've done a million embarrassing things, a million things that I could take back, but you just got to own it, baby. Own it. So, yeah, there we go. Just know if you're ever a prostitute, Dorinda will be there and welcome you at your table and say, "What's going on, man?" All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to No Filter with Zack Peter. Happy Thanksgiving. I love you. Oh, Janet says she wakes and bakes. She's like, I wake and bake. It was good. Well, we're now entering that. Well, no, we still have Christmas and Hanukkah and all of that. But the last 2 weeks of the year, that's when everybody's like lost in limbo and time doesn't matter. Michelle says, I keep Merce in my purse. Merce is in the purse. All right. Bye, guys. Give me a follow. Just Plain Zack. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. Book your cameos this weekend. I'll be getting Liddy City and I'll do some fun cameos. So book your cameos right now. Okay. All right. Love you. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. Listen to the Pop Report if you haven't done so yet. And let's have some fun. This beat is sick. Everybody take a ride on John Janssen's disco stick. Hey. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Grateful for you. Love you. Appreciate you. Talk to you later. Ciao for now. Bye. Everyone's putting their turkeys. Joe says, Happy Thanksgiving. Get y'all's turkey stuffed tomorrow. I do love stuffing. I love stuffing things, too. Maybe I'll find me a turkey to stuff tonight. All right. Ciao for now, guys.